Welcome to This Is. Gaben said the console wars are just getting started.
He did? When did he say that?
Well,
Which one of his yachts was he on when he said
Gaben has
this?
actually been retired. Valve has said that the console wars are just getting started.
I don't think they said that either.
Well, they're implying it
I think you're
heavily.
implying, yeah.
Implying it heavily.
Recently, Xbox has been all in the news because not only have they launched the Xbox Ally, which we've talked about ad nauseum, but also I think it's become really clear that Microsoft are basically trying to copy Valve's strategy when it comes to SteamOS and the Steam Deck. If you play a Steam Deck, what are you getting? A relatively affordably priced piece of hardware that is fully open, but importantly, works well and launches you directly into a console-like interface being big picture mode. But importantly, it is a PC with almost none of the downside of something like Windows, with all the extra driver updates and yada, yada, yada. Like, everything is very much contained inside big picture mode. And the rumor right now is that's exactly what Microsoft are doing for this next generation of Xbox. To still be open and still give you all that flexibility, but also not to deal with the Windowsy bits unless you choose to.
I can't believe how many people took Jez Corden's Windows Central article out of context. Everyone's like, WoW's coming to the new Xbox. It's like, no.
The new Xbox is coming to WoW would be the way I would describe
Yeah,
it.
the new Xbox is going to be a PC
Yeah.
that is also an Xbox. But that's exactly what SteamOS is. Because again, you can go into desktop mode into Linux. I mean, I can count on one hand how many times I've actually done that.
Because the problem is that there are a lot of games that do not support the Steam Deck at all. And that's not like, oh, it's like a compatibility
No,
issue.
it's like anti-cheat.
Now, obviously, there are hacks and workarounds, and something like Fortnite as well is not supported at all. I think it's one of those things where that's not really a technical issue. That is like a choice that the developers have made to either block Linux or to lean into an anti-cheat, which is obviously not going to be compatible. They could fix it if they wanted to, but there's not the incentive to actually do so.
And so, like, I think the Steam Deck kind of opens up that doorway a lot.
Microsoft understand this, so that's part of the reason why on the Xbox Ally, when you launch the full screen experience, it doesn't load the desktop. It doesn't let OneDrive and all the nonsense load. Nothing's going to open unless you want it to open. But I think it's interesting to think about the idea that Valve have made a lot of really smart decisions here when it comes to SteamOS, and it really feels like Microsoft are trying to chase them with the Xbox. And the fun thing is that we've already seen this. The Xbox Ally, of course, can run Steam. It does not take a great genius to press 3 buttons to just open up big picture mode. There is a setting inside something like the Xbox Ally that will allow you to actually bypass the Xbox launcher entirely, theoretically.
So there's a drop-down menu that, you know,
what do you want to launch?
What do you want to launch? So you could theoretically do it. We don't have confirmation of that.
Valve needs
like,
to build some support for it. Valve could enable a thing on Steam to allow you to boot it natively. So essentially, imagine your Xbox Ally or your Xbox Series Z or whatever. They will allow you to, when you push the power button on the console and boot it up, it would launch you instead of into the Xbox app into big picture mode. My understanding is that that's not something Microsoft maybe were thrilled to add. I mean, I can't imagine why they would, but because it's a PC, antitrust, yada, 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 they have to give people the freedom. They can't just say, hey, you can't touch anything else. You have to have that freedom there. Right. It really feels like everything is going Valve right now. I've just invested my life savings in CS2 skins, and those investments coming up really great right now.
We'll talk about the CS2 skins briefly, but look, if you have your life savings in CS2 skins,
you're a smart individual like me.
There's some grass right there. Please go touch it.
Look at me, I don't touch grass. You know, we talked about this. Valve have such a good guy sort of mentality. They get such a pass on so many things. Like, how many free-to-play things were invented by Valve? How many skins and loot boxes and stuff? We all love Valve because they make great games and they have this great reputation and Steam Deck and all these things. There's definitely an argument there's a dark side to Valve hey, maybe don't do all these nefarious things.
This is the exact same conversation we had about Xbox a few years ago when they bought Activision. They have the ability to make this awesome for everyone. And what will they do with it? If you look at all these rumors of what Valve is going to be doing in the next few years, a lot of rumors to jump into. Steam wants to do a desktop version of the Steam Deck.
So the Steam Deck came out in 2022. It was not the most powerful thing at launch. No. Valve have been pretty clear that they do not want to just bring out a new Steam Deck every couple of years. The next time they bring out a Steam Deck is going to be a generational leap in performance and still staying efficient and battery life and all that kind of stuff. They did update with the Steam Deck OLED, but that was much more like a, PS5 to PS5 Slim kind of situation. But theoretically, while we are probably going to be waiting another couple of years for a Steam Deck replacement, in the meantime, there's nothing stopping Valve from releasing some kind of console that's powered by SteamOS. The problem, though, is that this has been much more speculation than any real rumor. There's rumors about the Steam VR headset.
What gives legitimacy to to them doing a console is renders and releases of the controller, which is essentially just a Steam Deck with no screen.
I would almost assume that that's probably a little bit of an artist mock-up because it does not look very comfortable. But I will say, I thought the Steam Deck was atrocious.
I think it looked like, ugh, and then you feel it. It's like, oh, this is actually pretty good. But you look at their track record, like they've tried this before. They could come out with a Steam Deck that's just not in a, no screen, no battery,
like a PS TV, right?
If they did that for $200, if they're selling that, they are the cheapest console in the game.
The problem though is that is not that powerful. You're okay with running it like upscaled 800p on a handheld.
Yeah.
When you plug it into your TV and you're looking at Baldur's Gate at 360p upscaled.
There's also nothing really stopping them from just saying like, hey, put SteamOS on any PC that you have.
You can actually do this to some degree. So we actually did this recently on a video where I loaded up on a 2017 iMac, which importantly, the key here is that you need to have an AMD GPU. My understanding is that the actual drivers for the GPUs are actually open source, but I think they're mostly like maintained by Valve. And so it won't do anything newer than RDNA 2. If you have something that's a little bit on the older side, maybe a Windows 10 PC that's losing support soon.
It's the same strategy on paper. And the only thing that they are missing is like, oh, we don't have a subscription model. Well, they don't need to because they're printing money.
Yeah, just buy more CS2 skins and I'll be fine.
They don't need to have something like Game Pass, and they still have 30% of any sale that's on Steam. And now they're having this ecosystem of like, again, you have all your Steam games on one ecosystem. You play it on your handheld, you play it on your console at home, you play it on your PC. On paper, a better version of everything that Xbox is trying to do. If we look at like Xbox's big picture mode,
full screen experience.
It's such a fucking terrible name. I'm sorry. You can only play games that are also that are PC compatible.
But there's some games that are on Xbox Game Pass, but not on the PC side.
Right.
Like, it's complicated. And theoretically, next generation, they will build backwards compatibility in.
The rumor is with the next generation of Xbox that it would be unified.
Yes.
Valve can do that right now. That's appealing to a lot of people, but then they also, like, if the rumors are true, they're going more in on hardware. Let's talk about the VR headset.
Let's not. I'll be really honest. I do not have a great affinity for VR at this moment. It will be interesting to see what Valve are doing with this headset. Theoretically, it will have some standalone capabilities. I will be more excited when I see the thing. It seems like they are right around the corner of launching it. It's so easy to forget. Valve is a tiny little baby company. And I think the concern I have sometimes is that Valve is a tiny company to do the hardware and the software and run Steam. And I don't know, make a game every 7 to 8 years.
Let's not get crazy on these rumors.
There's only so many things they can do. Like, I feel like they have a very small hardware team. They made the Steam Deck, then they moved over and they made the VR headset. And then once they're done with the VR headset, they're gonna turn and then start working on Steam Deck 2. I just think that Valve are so small and they have such a completely unusual corporate structure. They're gonna basically make a new piece of hardware every few years. I hope you like what they bring out next, because there's 17 people on the team and they can only make one thing at a time.
And you told me something, and you fact-checked me on this, and I'm definitely gonna be oversimplifying. You told me that like the Valve employees just kind of work on whatever they feel
Valve
like.
is a famously open concept. My understanding is that you have quite a lot of freedom on what project you want to work on. You do not have a lot of management telling you what to do. You can kind of freely move from place to place and work on thing to thing, whatever is exciting to you. Obviously, that's an idealized version, and there is almost certainly some people in Valve who are like, hey, you need to help me make this Steam Deck part or whatever, but it's much more like organic, right? We're kind of like, this team will grow a little bit, and then, everyone gets excited about TF2 for a minute, and then everyone's over there, and move over. Like, it just feels like there's a lot more sort of flexibility on things. Unlike basically every other gaming company who are beholden to shareholders and a board and all this kind of stuff, Valve is still a private company. And my understanding is that Gaben still owns like 50.1% of the company.
He's been kind of checked out for a few years.
Well, when you have so many yachts, there's a lot of fun yachting to do.
He's just like, maybe I'll go in the office. With the VR headset that would be ARM powered, there is rumors of that, like having their current VR lineup is not very good at emulating a monitor. If you're not playing a VR game, it sucks. How many people are actually going from like, I'm in SteamOS, I'm gonna go to Linux and have that be my productivity machine? Probably very, 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 very low. Right.
Very few people.
The idea with the VR headset is, again, expand your ecosystem. Of this is one more way to play my games. Monopolies can be good.
Please elaborate.
I'm gonna say this like this is like gonna be the most unpopular opinion. If you look at like with rose-colored glasses, I could play every game that I own
Yes.
on any type of device I want. I could play it on a PC, I could play it on a handheld, I could play it on VR. But if they start doing like like an ARM-based machine, there's no reason that Steam can't be coming to phones natively if they start doing ARM support. Because Valve does not have shareholders and don't have a guy saying we need to push for 30% profit margin, this could be a amazing thing for the consumer. Usually that gets abused and then gets turned to shit. But like, that's the point of an ecosystem. But then you have competition drives innovation, but what it does to the consumer is it fragments compatibility. I'm just thinking about like smart lights.
Smart lights.
I'm on Philips Hue. Philips Hue is expensive, but it works amazing. And then you look at something like Govee, which has a lot of better options and cheaper, but it's on a different ecosystem.
Yeah. How about I'll spin this a little bit because I think I know where you're getting with this. A monopoly is one way that could happen because obviously everyone can agree that you don't want a lot of friction in your life, but open standards and broad compatibility also do that. So for example, Steam being available on multiple things and having that library that travels with you that you already bought, that I think most people can agree is a good thing. And having those games that you bought once on your PC also work on your console and your handheld, that doesn't necessarily need to be a monopoly. One of the big pieces of news from this year, it feels like it's forever ago because it was January, is that Valve are working with third parties in creating at least handhelds for now. We've already seen this with the Legion Go S Steam Edition. And while you can load SteamOS yourself on a variety of handhelds, and I will say it works pretty well, it's a little bit of a different thing to actually just sell this thing at a Best Buy. My understanding is that the SteamOS version of the Legion Go S has actually sold moderately well. I don't think it's lighting the world on fire, but it does seem like I will
tell you that installing Steam onto an existing one is one of the easiest things that I've ever done.
But I do think it's an interesting thing because coming back to my point about how Valve is a much smaller company than almost everyone just assumes. But what they do have is an excellent ecosystem of both software, games, of course, hardware, all these things. And I think that it does make a lot of sense for them to work with third parties such as Lenovo, such as Asus and whatnot. If it is something that is just, hey, we're going to let you pick, do you want Windows or SteamOS load on your device? That's interesting, but I guess it's not the most exciting thing. But I do think this may be a way to bridge the gap.
There's something else I want to talk about.
What else? Is there something nefarious that we forgot?
That gives Steam a distinct edge. So you were mentioning to me that RDNA 2 GPUs are transitioning into maintenance mode.
Every manufacturer of GPUs, at a certain point, they start deprioritizing older architectures. And importantly, RDNA 2 is really the backbone of this generation. That's the generation of GPU inside PS5, as well as Xbox Series S and Series X, including, most importantly, the ROG Xbox Ally, which, if I check my watch here, has been out for about 33 seconds. If AMD stick to this, is starting to lose day one support. What maintenance mode means, just to be really, really clear about this, it does not mean that your games are just going to stop working or something. It means that they're not going to be prioritizing day one patches. I think there's a possibility that they walk this back because I think it's a pretty bad idea.
If the Baldur's Gate thing has taught us anything, is that one guy can just make everything better.
You can romance the Emperor and have a great time. No, he's really the benevolent one. Well, it's not just about romancing him. It's also about believing in his vision.
Okay. Vision of tentacles. The Baldur's Gate optimization for Steam Deck was just one guy.
It started as one guy. I assume maybe he had a little help at some point. Originally, it was launching as a Proton compatibility layer game, but they now have the Linux version, which is native.
Right. What it's just showing, though, is the benefits of optimizing for a specific chip, for specific hardware. If they're making their own drivers for the Linux side of it, it's something that Windows can't really...
Microsoft are not going to start making AMD drivers. I'll tell you that. They're not doing that. There's too much AI to make right now. You can't build it. Drivers.
It just feels like Valve is doing everything that Xbox wants to do, but better. There's definitely ways they could abuse it. Valve is not a perfect company. We see that with like the CSGO stuff. I hope other companies take note of this. I hope this proves that like hardware's not dead. This just shows me like, hey, there's a new player in town. We're repeating history here because like Sega was kind of dying. The Dreamcast is kind of dying off. Here's this sexy new Xbox coming out. Like, whoa, here's this new thing that led to 25 years of awesomeness. When a big one falls, three little ones take their place is really the...
What are you talking about?
If Xbox is going to die, that opens up more room for Valve, for... Atari's trying to make a comeback.
I think that these are all incorrect, and I would not agree with any of the statements you're making right now.
Let us know what you're going to be playing all your Steam games on, because let's face it, that's the only library you have.
My Game Boy Advance SP.
Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Like, follow, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. Also, it's Halloween when recording this.
Scary skeleton. Guess what we are in the comments. You'll never figure out who I am.
I'm Mick Foley.